Hello everyone, I am Dheeraj Kamath and today we are going to see Aruco Markers and how image processing can be done using Python and OpenCV. So let's begin. Firstly, before we begin, we need to know what are the different things that will be discussed in the tutorial series. So firstly, we'll discuss about what Aruco Markers are. We'll get to know a few concepts about the Aruco Markers, why it's used, the applications um, which are there out there, and secondly, we'll see how we can generate the Aruco marker both using the code as well as online from third-party sources, and third, we have decoding the marker using Python and OpenCV. So after that, we can go ahead with the detection of Aruco markers in real world sense. Basically, we need to distinguish Aruco markers from uh, with different objects around it. So we need to understand the different characteristics of the Aruco markers there. So for now, let's proceed with the prerequisites. So the prerequisites to understanding this video will be you should definitely have the Python idle IDE. So the Python idle IDE helps you to write code in a very interactive fashion. It provides code highlighting, and OpenCV library is the open computer vision. It's used for all the image processing applications. So it has different functions which can be used, and a little bit of mathematics goes into decoding the markers. So if you don't have the software Python idle and OpenCV libraries, so you can go ahead and download the software from the links in the description below. So let's proceed with what Aruco markers are. So Aruco markers are basically synthetic square markers which are composed by a white black border and an inner binary matrix which determines its identifier. So what I mean here is, so here we have our Aruco marker. The Aruco marker here you see is a 7 by 7 grid. So it's a matrix of equal dimensions in which each square can be represented this way. So as you can see, if we divide this Aruco marker into grids, so we can see that this is a 7 cross 7 matrix, but in an Aruco marker the data is stored in the inner binary matrix of 5 cross 5. So this is what is mentioned in the next upcoming slide. So the inner matrix is the one which determines its ID. So Aruco markers are more like your barcode readers. So like in a barcode, each Aruco marker has its own unique ID. So now let's break down Aruco markers. So in an Aruco marker, there is a 5 cross 5 grid of which contains the data, and each of these grids are represented by either black or white. If it is represented by black, then it is given a value of 0, and if it's represented by white, it's given a value of 1. So in this 5 cross 5 inner grid that we see here, we have the first, third and fifth columns which are represented by parity bits. So parity bits basically are added to the data bits when we need to have a correction algorithm in place. So by correction algorithm I mean error detection. So for error detection we use something called as the Hamming algorithm. So according to Hamming algorithm we need to add a couple of parity bits which will help us in error detection, and the second and fourth columns represent the data bits. So if based on the parity, if it is set as even parity, if the receiver side receives even parity, then the data bits are red. If suppose the parity bits are odd at the receiver side, so what happens is the data isn't read because clearly there was some error in the transmission. So hence there are total of 10 data bits. So the maximum number of markers that can be encoded is 2 power 10, which is 1024. So we can have 1024 IDs which are unique. So next, so how are we gonna extract the Aruco marker and how are we gonna decode it? So for this, firstly we are gonna take the Aruco marker. So if it comes with a padding on the outside, the border, so you can firstly go ahead and remove the padding, and once that is done, we need to remove the extra outer matrix, the 7 cross 7 matrix. So the outer matrix has to be removed to get the inner 5 cross 5 matrix. So we remove the extra padding, and this is the result that we obtain, which is a 5 cross 5 grid. And each of, now in the 5 cross 5 grid, as I already mentioned before, the second and fourth columns only represent data. The rest of the columns are parity bits. So each of these 5 cross 5 grid is divided into a grid, and based on the color we can say if it is 1 or 0, where 1 stands for white and 0 is black. So here, if you can see, so here as I am highlighting, the second and fourth columns are the data bits. So we read the marker ID this way. So 0011 000000. So the ID of the marker will be, so if I'll go ahead and open my calculator. So so the ID is, so we go ahead and so if we 0011 000000. So this is the marker ID. So as you can see in decimal, the ID of this marker is 192. So this is how you obtain the ID for each of the markers. So next, let's so once you get the marker ID, then we can go ahead and look into applications such as augmented reality, where based on post estimation and other calibration techniques we can actually create 3D objects, make them move around, and this is out of the scope of this video. So what we learn in this tutorial series is to obtain an Aruco marker. We'll learn how we can generate it, and we'll also decode the Aruco marker to find its ID, and finally we'll try to extract Aruco markers by detecting it from real world objects. So this is the scope of our video, and if you want to generate Aruco markers, so the link, you can go to this link which I'll be providing in the description. So in this page you can type the marker ID 192. Let's go ahead and create 192. So if you click on generate marker, so as you can see, so this is the marker generated, and we have seen previously that the ID we decoded it as 192. So I hope you understood how Aruco markers are decoded in a logical sense. We'll definitely go into programming in the next upcoming video. So I hope you guys enjoyed and learned something new. So I hope you like this video. Don't forget to give a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe so that you will never miss another video from my channel.